Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to Bold Badass Business, where we bring you secrets and hacks and strategies that you can use to boost your business and stay in business. And today, you all, I am happy to have in the house Minesh Baxi, who is a master business coach and financial coach. He is an author. Hold up your book again, Minesh, so they can see it. He has over 10 books, but here's $1 Million Team Secrets. He has one called Stop Hiring Losers and another forthcoming book and many that you can choose from. Minesh and I were connected through a mutual colleague, a mutual friend and colleague, and we were thrilled to talk because what we uncovered is something really important in business, and that is integrity. Our integrity, and having that integrity in common is really important. So today we're going to be talking about stop being conned by the big name gurus in business and instead accelerate your business success. So welcome, Minesh. So glad you're on the show.
Well, thank you so much for your generosity. It's such a pleasure to be here with you. You have such great energy. The best part about you is that not only do you obviously have the knowledge, but you are committed to seeing other people get that knowledge and achieve real, tangible results. And to me, there are a lot of people who could be saying a lot of good things and they have a track record, but you are somebody who wants people to have a track record. And that's what I'm so impressed about.
Exactly. And I want them to have the results, which is, I remember you and I talked about that on online programs, the average result percentage is 3%. And you all, I want you to think about that. That means if there are 1,000 people in someone's program, then how many are going to be getting the results that are promised? 30. That's not good enough. So I flip this and I get results with 97% of my clients. And you know what? I wouldn't do business any other way. I mean, what's the point? Our reputation is the one thing that someone I really think can never really take from us, you know? So Manesh, how did you tell us a little bit about your history? Because I know, and now we'll have to be, careful about whose name we say, but I know that you have worked with some of the big name gurus, especially in coaching. So tell
Yeah,
us a little bit about your history without, name calling.
very good. So I'll first start with the basic history. So I wrote a book called Stop Hiring Losers. And people might be wondering, Vinesh, that sounds like a terrible title, controversial and everything. Let me tell you, I was the loser. What do I mean by that? I was a computer programmer for 12 years. I hated my job. I got fired. And I was like,
Hmm.
I don't like what I do. I'm an employee. I don't like being an employee. I want to be on my own. I want to have my own business. I always like speaking, coaching, and writing. So I said, this is the avenue that I'm going to pursue. And this was in 2000 when there were not too many coaches out there and not too many coaching academies out there. And
Mhm.
I decided to start in that journey. And this is what I found out is that I can invest a lot of money with a lot of people. You can attend 2, 3, 4 day seminars. You can attend their annual programs, all year long programs, and yet you're not likely to get great results. And I'll explain that in a minute why that is the case. Now, let me tell you, some of these people have great track record themselves. They are successful, nothing wrong with it. And I totally agree with their success. They have done the hard work to get where
Mhm.
they wanted to be. But here is the challenge. They don't know you. They don't know you as a person. They don't know what your strengths are. They don't know what your weaknesses are. They don't know what you really need right now. I don't know about you, but Dr. Barnsley Brown, you've been to events where they make a big grand program presentation and then there is a loud pitch, right? It's like, okay, go to the back end of the room. Maybe you've never been guilty of it. I get excited. I'm like, this sounds fantastic. I'll buy this program, and after this program, I'll buy the next program, and the next program, and the next program.
Mhm.
And there is a frenzy of people rushing to the back, giving their credit cards, and they can't wait to get the results that these people have been promised. But here's the problem: where you are the best person who knows that. And unless there is a person, just like Dr. Barnsley Brown, who is committed to your success, committed to you understanding your strengths, your weaknesses, your personalized path. Now, maybe Dr. Barnsley Brown, I'm dating myself. Uh, I'm sure you remember AAA triptychs. Have you ever used
Hmm.
anything like that?
Yes, absolutely. I used those. I'm still a AAA member.
Exactly. And what would happen is I would want to go on a vacation. Let's say I was living in Michigan at that time and I want to go to Florida. So I would go down to the AAA office. I would ask the person, hey, do you have a good system, map, directions for me to follow? And they would say, Minesh, here is it. And they would start highlighting all the roads and they'll say, here is a detour going on. And I would have a triptych exactly for my trip. They knew where I was and they knew where I wanted to go, and they would draw out a detailed map, just like what GPS does today. Except GPS is obviously pretty global now, in my opinion, and easy to access anyway. But you need a personalized GPS for you. And that's where I think the first challenge happens when you are buying a program, when you are investing in somebody's package. Ask yourself, is it personalized for you? Because my mistake was I'm very good at certain things and I'm terrible at certain things. I had no business buying certain packages at all. I should have known better, or maybe the person who was evaluating should have said, Minesh, these are the things that you should be good at before you join my program. Because if you can't execute these things, there is no way you're going to get these results. And because nobody did that, I bought a package that I felt would get me the biggest results I wanted. They would get me overnight success,
Mm,
except I fumbled and fumbled and fumbled and eventually gave up because those were not aligned with my strengths and weaknesses. So let me
mm.
ask you a simple question if you're watching this. Do you really know your own strengths and weaknesses enough to see what strategy will be the right strategy for you, whether it is podcasting, going out and meeting people, writing a book, being on stage, whatever it is? Are you clear on your own strengths and weaknesses? Because if you're not, you are
Yes.
going to be struggling in any package.
And Manesh, you know what I say to my clients? The reason I counted it up, I have just for myself, mentors and coaches over the past like 8 years, I've had 16. 16. Why? Because I have blind spots. And so do those of you listening, and so do you, Manesh. All of us have blind spots. And we may think, I think one of my strengths is I think I'm very warm, but there are people who will say, you're intimidating as hell. And they're scared because I'm direct, right? And so I could have this whole conception of, oh, I'm so warm and I'm nurturing and kind of motherly. And then somebody's like, no, you are not. You do not hold people's hands. You are kick ass. So we need to really have feedback from someone who, not just our family members, not just our friends, not just our clients, but someone who is an expert, who is further along than we are. And you know what I say, Manesh? Always, always, always ask for the results. So when I hired my independent financial advisor, and I know you and I talked about this, who is also a fiduciary, here's what I said to her. One of my first questions, I said, I'm going to ask you this, and I'm direct. We knew each other through some business networking. I'm direct. And she said, yes, I do. And I said, so what is your net worth? I asked her. And if she had not answered the question or she had hedged, she would not be my person because I wanted to know that she was at least a multimillionaire. You know, I wanted her to be at least a multimillionaire, which she is. And when she told me that, told me exactly her net worth, which was several $1,000,000 at that time, I said, great, that's super. I just want to know that you practice what you preach. And that is so essential because sadly, we have people out there. I just said this in a group, Manesh. Oh, yes, I just said this. I said, everyone, because, I just finished my first children's book. Everyone wants to take my money to help me with the book. And the fact of the matter is, maybe they know board books, which are infants, or maybe they know picture books, which are for ages maybe 2 to 5, but I'm writing a book that's 7 to 11. I need somebody who knows this inside and out. I need somebody who can understand my ideas about multimedia. I need somebody who is cutting edge. And I don't need someone who just says they're an expert. And maybe they were 10 or 20 years ago, but they're not now.
I think you are absolutely right. So you always want to know whether the person has the results you're looking for. The
Yep.
other part which I want to also emphasize is that there are a lot of people who are better in sales than actually getting other people results. So let's
Mm-hmm.
understand that concept as well. What I mean by that is if somebody is very good at getting results for themselves, but do they have the strategy to get you results? Because to me, it is not about how they got results. That's part of it, right? It's more about how have they helped other people get results. Because I have
Mm-hmm.
found some people who are not that great in sales themselves or don't have the biggest results, but they know how to really evaluate somebody. They know how to create a plan for that person. So quite often, as you might say, there are a lot of great successful players. Like Michael Jordan is considered to be the best in basketball ever. But you never see Michael Jordan as a coach. And you might be like, why is
Mm-hmm.
that? Well, the person who coached him is not the same as Michael Jordan, because the person who can be a coach to you is willing to invest their time in you, invest in learning more about what works for you. They are invested in finding the exact skills you need to develop in order to get to that next level. And it is easy to prescribe a general solution to anybody. But it's better if you find somebody, which is why I tell most people all the time, find somebody who's going to work with you closer one on one. Because
Or
if
in
you're
a
going to
very small program, Manesh. This is why I keep my program to 8. My Make It Happen Mastermind coaching program is a 12-month, and many people re-up beyond that, but 12-month mastermind coaching program that is limited to 8 women and me, because the level of customization that I give them, it is not a cookie cutter. And what you say is absolutely correct. A cookie cutter general solution is not going to be what you need to get where you want to go.
Exactly, and that's the reason why the first thing I do with my clients is to evaluate them. I do a battery of assessments on them, number one. Number two, I want to know how they have gotten results in the past, and based on where they want to go, what are the things that are more likely to work for them, and then eliminate things that they are just not going to be good at or they just don't want to do. Because I can have 10 steps to achieve $1 million, right? Okay, but if 7 of those steps don't apply to you, I shouldn't be teaching you 10 steps to $1 million because that doesn't work for you. And for me, example, for me, the best things which work are networking, building referral relationships, giving great value to my clients, and last but not least, is speaking and business and writing books for me. For me, speaking and writing books comes together because once you are a writer, you also want to
Mhm.
promote your book by speaking. And if you're speaking and you have a book, it kind of goes hand in hand, so to speak. So what I want people to understand is that I'm not the guru for if you're looking for saying, hey, Google SEO, I'm not the guy. You know what I'm saying? You're saying Instagram, 10,000 followers in a day, I'm not the guy, right? That's perfectly fine. And that may be what you are looking for. I'm not going to be the person who's going to coach you. On the other hand, if you are somebody saying, Minesh, I want to build closer relationship with my clients. I don't want to just get clients, people just pinging me like that because maybe I don't know how to build relationship enough. I want to build relationship in a deep, meaningful manner with people. And that's how I want to build my business, which is why I speak regularly. I have another event coming up this Friday. I attend networking events. I meet people because I am warm and fuzzy in that situation. To me, that will never go away. And I can tell you my mistake, Dr. Bansley Brown. I
Mhm.
thought everybody had to be on Facebook. I thought everybody had to be on Instagram. I had thought everybody had to do those things. And I invested money there and I didn't get much results. Now, it's not their fault it was coaching to some degree. It's just not my area of expertise. I'm more interested in one-on-one direct contact, small groups,
Yep.
because I feel I can build great relationship, show my value to people, and they can see the type of person who is committed to their success. That's how
So
I like to build
important.
my business.
I got to stop you, Manesh, for a sec. I got to interrupt because what you said is so they can see who you are and what your values are. And this is the other thing, folks listening here. I want you to think about, does that person whose program purports to get you to 7 figures and is going to cost you over $50,000, for instance, just an example. I've seen plenty of them, seen some over 100,000. I do have a mentor I love, and Marisa Murgatroyd, and I'm in the third year in her momentum program, and it's about a $15,000 program-ish, around 15, depending on what level you're in. But there's certain things she does so well, Minesh. She separates into levels. We all have a specific coach. I love my coach there who I meet with in a group. The group is on my level. The coach meets individually and with us in a group, and we have all sorts of things we can pick from, right? But she does a battery of tests. We do a battery of tests just like you're talking about, and it is very customized for a large program, right? Part of the reason I joined is because of the community as well. Well, here's the thing. Most people in these huge programs, and I would say too that her program is not as big as a lot of the other people, right? I would highly recommend her program, in fact. Though I will say that there are plenty of people who are not getting the results there. She has about maybe a 30 to 40% success rate, as I understand. You have to double check that, everybody, but it is significantly higher than the 3% we talked about earlier because of what she does. She's a great educator and she's a great creative. She's really a good creator of all sorts of multi-leveled materials. But here's the thing. If you don't know the person, and you see, I like her values. That's the other thing. She's very vulnerable and transparent with us. If you don't know the person and their values, who you're working with, this is like giving your life away to a bodyguard who you don't know would pull you out of in front of a big bus coming your way. You know what I mean? Seriously, you have got to know. And what you said about really having someone who really cares, very important. And not only cares, but they're accessible to you, right? The creator of the program is accessible to you. Did everybody hear me? The creator of the program is accessible to you. And that the more people in the program, the less your accessibility.
Exactly. My friend Rick Ruby is one of the best coaches I've ever met. In my personal experience, he's the best I have met so far. And he was already a millionaire before he started coaching. And he started coaching people. Today, he has, I think, about 350 people in his level 3 program, which is about $40,000 a year. So you can do the math on how much money that is. He's
Mm-hmm.
well worth over $100 million today. But what I admire about him the most is that he is personally dedicated to the success of each person that is coaching. He has enough money. He doesn't have to do anything in his life ever, right? But he's driven to see that you become successful. And people have achieved unbelievable results. I don't think I know any other coach who has those results, because I think in 21 or 22, he had 300 of his clients cross $1 million in income, which you can believe is pretty remarkable, right? And the reason I mention all of that is when the person, you just mentioned the creator of the program, is personally committed to you achieving the level of success that you want, you deserve, and they are willing to be kick ass on one side, right? They are willing to say basically, hey, if you don't shape up, I'm going to get you out of the program because I don't need your money. I need more of your success, not your money. And if you're not willing to invest the energy required, if you're not going to follow through as consistently, then you're not going to get the results. And I don't want a bad reputation either. And I think that should be the straight conversation because,
Mm-hmm.
to be honest, I just joined a gym recently. There are a lot of people who will join a gym, but they won't show up consistently because they don't want to go through the pain, the soreness, and everything else to get results. Well, let's be clear, no program is going to make you a millionaire just by you signing up for the program. Signing up for the program is the easiest thing you can do. The rest still depends on you, but you do want somebody who's holding you accountable at a high level with caring for you. And that I think is what you provide. And that's what my goal always is how can I help you become known, in my case, as an expert, as somebody who's getting results by helping you track what you are looking to accomplish on a regular basis, whether it is having a list of VIPs, having a list of referral partners for you, and combining your resources with other people in order to market very quickly. That I think is what people need to learn consistently, because one thing which will never go out of style is called building relationship by showing value. That's as simple as it gets.
Exactly. And that will never go out of style. And, this is where many people like to hide behind a computer and mark it out. Now, if you are, I will tell you, those big gurus who have these lists of 100,000, 500,000, whatever, they have spent a lot of time networking, folks. They did not sit behind the computer and just do that. Now they can sit behind the computer more, right? Because they have a huge volume. But for the average small business owner, who is who I love to work with, who is probably, well, usually they're a solopreneur and they have a number of team members who may work for them part-time, like a tax person, such as a bookkeeper, such as a virtual assistant, such as an insurance person. Maybe they have a few employees, an admin, a customer service person, whatever. But they're generally solopreneurs who have a team that is part-time or contract work. And here's the thing, you all, that's completely different because our volume is much less. So we have got to be masters of relationships. That is just absolutely, it is never going to go out of style. We can't hide behind the computer. We need to pick up the phone. We need to get on Zoom with people. We need to get on Facebook Messenger video call with people. We need to make it online and in person. And by in person, I mean on Zoom. All right. I mean face to face. All right. Someone just asked me, well, what do you mean face to face? And I said, I mean that we can see each other's faces. It might be on a computer screen, it might be on a phone, but we can see each other's faces. This is so important. We can't just fill, when we don't have that volume, we can't just fill up a program just like that. We have got to reach out.
Exactly. If you're not talking to 5 to 10 people a day just like that, right? And you're not putting yourself in front of other people, whether in person. I just joined a networking group locally here as well. And I had a
Mhm.
conversation with the vice president of the membership or something, and her role I forget. But she is very proactive. And she's like, Minesh, you are perfect for my business. I have so many franchisees around the country for the company that I work with. Her father owns it, by the way. That
Mhm.
you can provide the support that they need that I don't provide to these
Mhm.
people. Now, that is just one person who has the potential to provide a huge network
Mhm.
to me in order to provide, and she doesn't barely know me, but because in just a couple of meetings how I have been there, how, and I told her, people cannot compete with me for one simple reason: I can outgive anybody. I can outgive anybody because I'm willing to provide as much as possible, free resources, support, because what, we come from abundance. We come
Yes,
from a place of I have enough, and if I give you enough, I'll have even more. Wow, that's a
exactly.
good.
All right, I want y'all to see this. So Manesh is, I called him master business coach, right? He had put financial coach. I said, "No, you're a master business coach. Put that up there." And here's the thing, I've got kick-ass coach here. Do you think I'm worried that Manesh is taking my business? Hell no. Why do I have him on the show? Because he has different abilities than I do, different capabilities, different expertise. Some of it overlaps. Certainly our values overlap, but there's enough business for everyone. And this is the thing, we've got to get away. I've seen so many people who are so territorial. We must get away from this, because the truth of the matter is it can only be helpful for someone to hear a version of what they actually need to do in their business, someone who knows and has results, from different people. That can only be a good thing, to have the same kind of information come from different people than to just hear one solitary voice hemming and hawing about, here's what you need to do to reach six figures. It's a good thing. And I think that we've got to get away. So many people are in scarcity mindset. And I hear so many people with gloom and doom about the economy, this, the economy, that. Well, you all, I'm going to say it, F the economy. You make your own economy. You make your own economy, and you make it by the possibilities you see or do not see.
Exactly. And some of you may, I'm also Grant Cardone 10X certified
Mhm.
licensed coach as well. Some of you may not know about Grant Cardone. He's a billionaire. He's very, very successful.
Real
And he
estate, real
started,
estate.
yes, and he started in sales training. And today he's in sales
Mhm.
training as well as real estate investments. Now, if you have not watched the show Undercover Billionaire on Discovery Channel, I highly encourage you to go watch it.
Undercover Billionaire.
Yes.
All right,
So,
Discovery Channel, Undercover Billionaire, you all.
absolutely. Here is the premise of the program. He had to go undercover in a town nobody knows him, which is like a small town. In this case, was Pueblo, Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
100,000 people, maybe not even that many. And he has to go there with a different name. So he chose the name Curtis Lewis. He had to look different. He could
Mm-hmm.
not use his contacts, no phone, right? He could not use any of his money. And he
Mm-hmm.
had to go, he was only given $100 and a broken down truck. And he had to go build $1 million business in 90 days, which he built to be $5 million, by the way. And they watch him. They are video recording him live, which was obviously uncomfortable. People are like, why are you here with so many cameras, right? But here was his secret. And I was in the room with him just a couple of a month ago, and he was explaining the whole thing because I'm part of his mastermind group there. And here is what he was a master at. He was a master at helping people see the value he can bring, and people, because of his integrity, because of his style of communication, because of his desire to help people see value, he was able to stay for free. He was able to negotiate deals with no credit, nothing, because nothing to his name, and people trusted him. And in 90 days, he could build a network of group of people who were helping him build a business in that area without them knowing he's Grant Cardone. So if he can do that, what can we do? So here is a simple exercise which is for all of us to do. Go today where somebody doesn't even know you and start building relationship with some key people. Let's pick 20 people in the area over the next 90 days. And your job is to find ways to add value to them and add value in terms of like I'll give you an example of that. So we are relatively new in this area in Flagler County, Florida. My daughter is 20 and I've been mentoring her, homeschooling her. So we found a simple reason and way to get in front of people. So she has a podcast, Why I Love Flagler County. So she goes and interviews these local businesses, puts them on 15, 20-minute Zoom and says, hey, tell me why you live here. What do you like about it? What's your vision? Tell us about your business. And here is the funny part. She joined the networking organization with me. With even before she had joined the group, people had already seen the value she brings, and one person already signed up for coaching because what she's teaching is how to use podcast to get clients. And the part which is different, which is most people get confused about podcast, is Minesh, how many people will see it? Where will you show it? No, no, no. Podcast, just like Dr. Barnsley Brown is doing today, is a way for you and me to build relationship with somebody, making them feel special, helping them see that you are there to support them and help them in their business. And guess what happens over a time period? During that 15, 20, 30, 40-minute conversation, they feel good about you. They start
Mm-hmm.
saying, this person is somebody I want to build a closer relationship with. And suddenly they become what you would call very easily, they become either clients, referral partners, or just somebody who can help you get your message out to
Affiliates.
people.
They
It's that
become
simple. And if
affiliates.
you're somebody who's interested in that, get in touch with me. My daughter is a master at helping people do that now because she's
Mhm.
actually in the trenches. She's
Love it.
building her network at the age of 20 from zero.
I love that, Manish. And, it is so true. And this is something I completely stumbled on by accident because, truthfully, I did not intend to have a show. I did not. It just became something where I was going to do some complimentary coaching online. And I saw a friend of mine up on a Saturday night, and she happens to run a group with over 80,000 women in it, a networking group. And I said, hey, let's get on, Haley, and let me do some coaching. Well, it became an interview. And we had a ball, really a conversation, right? Um, these are conversations. I'm interviewing you, but it's a conversation where we're sharing with each other. And, it just started from then. And what I realized is this was the best way I could promote great people doing great work in the world and not asking for anything in return. And what happened is the relationship began to be built. And then it was like, hey, I've got this thing coming up. Could you run a live and put me on it? Or who do you know who's blah, blah, blah? And everyone has been really, really, really supportive. I can only think of one person who turned me down on becoming an affiliate for my free webinar, Minesh, um, who's been on the show. And, really. And I am all about win, 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 win. It's all the wins all the way around. So the person listening here, you're winning by listening, by making this time Friday afternoons, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 1:30 p.m. Pacific, to get training in your business that probably you don't have an extra budget for. And it's a win for the person coming on because they get to share what they're doing. And it's a win for me because I get to have this cool ass show, Bold Badass Business, and meet other podcasters and meet very interesting people. So it really is an amazing way. And the thing about finding your clients through shows is very, very, very powerful too.
Absolutely. And just to give you an example of what you were talking about, here's simple free advice that we are giving to people is pick a topic or a subject that you're passionate about. So one of the areas I'm very passionate about is parenting. So I have a podcast
Mm-hmm.
called Positive Parenting. We have
Mm-hmm.
homeschooled our children. My daughter is 20. My son just turned 16 today, and it is his birthday that we are talking about. And what I would tell you from here is that because it's something which is naturally passion for me, I've been able to interview some really, really very successful people, multi-millionaires, people who are very accomplished people, and I'm able to have an engaging conversation about something we both have in common, which is being a parent. And now it creates a connection at a deeper level than just talking about business, talking about referrals, talking about income, this and that. And now you are seeing an emotional connection develop at a level which makes them feel comfortable, which makes you feel comfortable to say, hey, you know what? These are good people. We need to connect them with other people that we know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's as simple as it gets. And if you can start using that strategy, and that is where the one on one, deepening the relationship makes a big difference in growing your business, because you don't need, and this is where I think people need to really stop thinking. And I've been guilty of this so much. These people have 10,000, 100,000, so many people on their email list. Look at their followers, look at the Facebook group size they have. Please remember, the one person in front of you could make all the difference.
Absolutely. And not only they could make all the difference to your business, you can make all the difference to them. Because I believe, Manesh, I know that there is way more than we are able to see in visible terms in this world. You can't see the space in atoms, can you? You can't see quarks and all the different subatomic particles, but does that mean they don't exist? I believe there is a web of connectivity, and you might call it God, source, Allah, whatever you want to call it. You could call it my cat who just jumped up here. Whatever you want to call it, there's a web of connectivity out there. And it's in the internet too, right? We can't see, but we're connected by the internet. And so, how about we plug into that web of connectivity? How about we really plug into that and realize that that person in front of us is the most important person in our world at that moment? And we are the most important person in their world at that moment, which is why I really love enrollment conversations, i.e., sales conversations. I love them, Manesh. Sometimes they're hard, but I love them because the questions I'm going to ask someone are really questions. It's really like an opportunity, sacred opportunity for them to get in touch with what the deepest yearnings of their being or their self are.
Absolutely. And I think
Yeah.
you and I are making a difference in their mindset. And we are helping them reignite some of the dreams that they have possibly forgotten. They need to dust them off. And I know I need to do that more often as well. And by being the role model, by being the inspiration for them, by helping them get in touch, by asking very meaningful questions, which help them kind of look at their limiting beliefs, right? And they
Mhm.
start seeing, why have I not achieved the goals that I thought I should have? Maybe I need to examine what I'm doing. Maybe I need to examine my beliefs. And then it's possible I need help of somebody else to break through those limiting barriers that I have created for myself unknowingly enough. And this person can shed the light on a path that will take me to where I really want to go.
Let's make it concrete for a second. I'm going to tell everybody really quickly a little story about one of my clients. And She has resisted doing a 6-month program. I've been talking to her about it for months. She's doing great. She just manifested the most she's ever made in her business, $8,000 in a 2-week period, which is awesome. And she's a new business. That's great. Yeah, she's getting there. And she has this whole network, this whole system she's created. And it just really was about me helping her see that there was a blind spot. She was calling it something that she had given a name to it that she trademarked, but no one else got it. And I said, you will never have to give up the system that you've created. You're going to use this system with people in this 6-month program, but they don't get it. And what you're going to do, we're going to create an outcome based title for it. Like, get your power back or get your groove back or whatever. But we're going to create the outcome. What is the outcome for them? Be at peace with your decisions. And then that's going to be your how. But when you put that in the title, it means nothing to anyone else but you. And that one shift allowed her to go ahead and start enrolling people, Minesh, and getting people together who'd done versions of this in the past and getting them excited. And she got excited. And that's when the $8,000 came in just like that, too. So you all, it's about having people around us. Again, I'm going to say the word expert because usually our families are not the most supportive of us, sadly. They're like, what? You're doing that? You're writing another book? Sometimes, not always. And our friends don't necessarily get it unless they are business owners. So we need an expert. We need experts around us to show us where our focus is off. And maybe we're sitting on this suitcase that's filled with everything we need in it, but we're like sitting on it in the airport saying, well, where am I going to get this and that and the other? Well, it's in the suitcase. So we get to have a coach who's going to help us bring the things out of the suitcase. And as you said, take our dreams and dust them off. Because otherwise we get to the end of our lives and what do we wonder?
Exactly.
We have regret. Or, wow, I wish I'd written that children's book. Or, wow, why didn't I do that world cruise with my daughter? Or why didn't I, go get the Grant Cardone certification? Why
Exactly. I
didn't I have
totally
that third
agree.
child?
Well, again, one thing at a time and whatever works for you at this time. And I think what people really want to know is simple. Do you care enough about me and will you take me when even I'm not willing to
Mm-hmm.
take that step?
Yes.
That's, I think, what a coach is, in my opinion. And yes, not everybody will listen, not everybody will do what they should be doing. I'm guilty of that enough times, right? But at the same time, if I care enough about somebody and I want to show them, hey, I care enough about you and let me show you the way to get where you want to go, and I will hold your hand in the journey.
Or
Because
kick the butt.
yeah, yeah, got kick butt, right? And on one side, yeah, having a program that thousands and millions of people buy is fine. But the real difference comes from a small group, one on one, where people can get the access, the support they need, and they can get the fine tuning of the strategy
Mhm.
specifically for you. Because at
And
the
we're
end of
all
the day,
different kind of learners, Manesh. That's the
exactly,
other piece
I
we are.
agree with you.
Some of us are kinesthetic, some are oral, some of us are visual. We have different learning styles, and so the kind of let me lecture to many thing really works for people who may be visual learners, but it doesn't work for the kinesthetics. And so we need people, especially I'm very kinesthetic and visual, but especially for kinesthetics, we need smaller classrooms, we need hands-on experiential learning, we need ways to apply, you know, because we're the creatives. It can be hard for us to apply. We need that, and then we will retain the information. Well,
And
Manesh, you have
sometimes,
given us so much to think about today, and thinking about why that one to many, 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 many doesn't work, why, or let's say why it's extremely limited and why it only gets a small percentage of real results of what's promised, and why it's so important to choose someone who is further ahead than you, someone who really cares about you, someone who knows and can see your strengths and weaknesses, even when you cannot, and someone whose belief in them, or your belief in them, they can borrow. I say, borrow my belief in you, borrow my belief in you all the time to my clients, because I want them to, when they don't believe in themselves, borrow my belief in you. And we want that person that we're going to feel is really there supporting us, kind of like when you have a frame and it's got that thing on the back of it. If you don't have that little thing, I don't know what you call it, the little stand on the back of it, the frame falls and the glass frickin' breaks. But when you have the frame standing up and you have that stand there, it's going to be there, and it's going to bring beauty and good memories to the world. Well, Minesh, I know that you have something special to offer us. We do love gifts, don't we, bold badassers? We love gifts. We love opportunities. What do you have to give the listeners?
So the only thing that will get us results, Dr. Barnsley Brown, is called action.
Mm-hmm.
And I have put together my 59 tips of recession proof your income, because I have well over 200 clients who at some point have been $1 million earners. They're all millionaires, right? Okay. And so if you go to action1234.com, so if you go to action1234.com, you can download the 59-point checklist on how to attract clients to recession proof your income. And the clients I'm talking about are successful, wealthy clients, people who accomplish results. And you may be sometimes intimidated in getting in front of them. You may sometimes feel that you don't have much to offer because you have been thinking too small about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is you have a lot to offer, and you have not tapped into all the things that you could offer to people, and people can value what you have to provide. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why if you go to action1234.com, you have access to the checklist, you have the access to the ebook, and I also created a video course that you can have all of this for free.
Oh, I love it. Did y'all hear that? Free, my favorite four-letter word. That's my favorite F four-letter word. Which may surprise some people who've heard me use the other one. But anyway, action1234.com, how to attract the wealthy clients. 59 ways. You've got to go to action1234.com and grab this now. What an amazing gift. Thank you, Minesh. And you all, while you're at it, don't get overwhelmed. No more overwhelmed. Don't get overwhelmed by the fact that there are 59 things there. Go to my website, spirited-solutions.com, spirited-solutions.com, and grab how to overcome overwhelm in 7 easy steps. And good news, everybody. Right now, we're working on a vault, a special vault where you will be able to go and avail yourself of all the free gifts that have been offered by our kick-ass, bold, badass guests on the show. So know that that is coming very, very soon, you all. We are going to have that vault, and you can go in and pick and choose and just give yourself thousands of dollars of incredible business development and personal development materials. So keep an eye out. It's going to be down in the comments, right? When it's ready, it will be there. We will be posting, and my virtual assistant will be posting it everywhere. We will post, it will look like graffiti all over the internet. Minesh, thank you so much for coming. I love it. We're going to have to do something on attracting the wealthy clients. I can already see that you and I got to do something with this, because it is a question I get so often from my clients is how do I find the wealthy clients? How do I find the clients with disposable income? How do I find the clients who are ready to invest? And that's a very important topic. Would you all agree? If you would agree, put yes in the comments. And please also give us an aha. What did you realize? What did you remember listening to what was shared today in this interview? What did you remember? What did you become aware of today? Share your aha moments. Don't be an internet lurker, right, Minesh? We don't like them. We want to know what you're taking away, because, hey, if you write it down, you remember it. Totally true. It's shown in all the research. So, everybody, this has been Bold Badass Business. Minesh, thank you so much for coming again. And would you like to give us one final moment of inspiration, Minesh, something that you would say, one of your favorite quotes, or something that you would say to everyone listening.
Thank you. First of all, thanks for the opportunity to be on this program with you. You have amazing ways of doing things which are very helpful. Here is the simple solution I'll give to each and every one of you. If you want to really succeed, do 30-day accountability with someone. Every day, even for a minute, even for a text, for 30 days, have some accountability consistently over 30 days. You'll be blown away by the insights you'll get about what you can accomplish and what are some of the things that you need to improve upon. That simple step will change your life forever.
And it's so true, Manesh. I have group accountability with my clients every day throughout the day. I've already had about 12 messages just in the last couple of hours, celebrations, what they're doing, the revenue generating income, revenue generating activities they're doing, what's happening, even things they want us to discuss in coaching. Yes, not only an accountability partner, I would say yes, yes, Manesh, and find yourself an accountability group that is actually active. You can't have people doing it half-assed. You got to have somebody who's in charge, who's going to, like Manesh or like me, who's going to be saying, all right, that is a lame RGA. That is not an RGA. That is not a revenue generating activity. How can you tweak it so it is? All right. And then when you have that, you all, I'll tell you, just like Manesh said, there's no way you cannot succeed. Well, I know you're already a bold badass because you're here with us, and I'll see you next week, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 1:30 p.m. Pacific. See you all.
Thanks so much.